Hi, everybody. It's Allison with Animal Soul Connection. If you're here live with me, go ahead and just type in the comments, say hi or hey, I'm here. Today, I am going to be sharing a little bit about holistic options for our animal family. Not only am I super passionate about animal communication, I've also been using holistic care for my own animals for close to 30 years or so. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Bertolet. I started using homeopathy and flower essences many, many years ago. I'll give you a little bit of a brief overview about holistic options. Normally, this class that I teach is about a 3 to 4 hour course on different holistic modalities, but I wanted to just bring you about 15 minutes, kind of a little brief overview of what it is that I've been doing for a few years. Also give you some resources so that you can educate yourself. Very important, I obviously want to point out I am not a veterinarian. I am certainly not here to ever treat or diagnose or make specific suggestions for what you should or should not do. I believe it's really important for us as animal guardians to empower ourselves, educate ourselves, and then make our own informed decisions. That's one of the reasons that I'm here today, to kind of help guide you with that. One of the great things about holistic care is it's not masking symptoms. It's actually getting to more of the cure, kind of a root of the disease or illness or ailment. So that's one of the really great things about holistic care, holistic options. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today was toxins. So the dangers of toxins, where they're found, what we can do about them, why they are so dangerous. So toxins are found pretty much everywhere. They're all over in our home. They're found in our yard. They're found in our dog, cat, animal food, found in their treats. It's also very prevalent in vaccines, flea and tick medicine, heartworm treatments. All of those things have some sort of toxic ingredient in them. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So where do we find toxins most often in our home? Well, it's certainly one of the top things are fragrances. So anytime you see the word fragrance on a label of anything, basically, there are thousands of chemicals that make up just that one word of the fragrance. So that is some toxic ingredients right there, chemicals and fragrances. So fragrance could be, scented candles, melting wax, little pop things. It could be air fresheners. The plugins are especially toxic. I mean, think about how strong those odors are and what that may be doing to our animals. Another place we want to look at toxins in our home, certainly cleaning products. And also just your basics, laundry detergent, things like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we can use instead of that here in just a minute. Also in our yards. So sure, we want a beautiful looking green yard, but for me, that could come at the expense of my animals' health, especially our dogs that are out in the yard running around and playing. We do not use any sort of chemical fertilizer on our own yard here. We have a few more weeds. Certainly, it's probably not as beautiful as all the neighbors, but I know that I'm not using anything toxic that's going to then get into my animals' bloodstream. So what happens when we have these toxic buildups? We'll start to see allergies. Autoimmune diseases are very prevalent when we're using toxic ingredients, and then certainly also cancer plays a huge role in toxicity. So what can we do? We can get rid of all of those fake fragrances to start with. So I know it might be tough, but we can ditch those scented candles, we can ditch the plugins, ditch the Lysol spray. I used to use all of that. Febreze, we've got 6 dogs. Our house It might be a little smelly. I don't know. But we don't use all of those toxic ingredients to control the odors. There's other things that we can do. We would also want to use natural cleaners. Our animals live in about the lower 18 inches of our home. You know, they're laying on the floor, then they're licking their paws, they're maybe licking their fur. So everything that we're putting, especially on our floor, possibly even on our countertops, if you've got some dogs that counter surf, we do, or if you've got kitties that like to be up on the counter, anytime those paw pads are getting in contact with a surface that's been cleaned with something toxic, Mr. Clean, Lysol, all of those harsh chemicals out there, pets are eventually ingesting all of those toxins. So it's very dangerous and causes a lot of health problems. Just encourage you to look at some natural options. Got some new grocery stores around here that have some new options. We could just go back to the good old tried and true water and vinegar. Is amazing. It cleans things up, and it's great. So I happen to use some products just from a company that I work with, Young Living. We've got some really great cleaning products, but I'm not here to sell you anything. So that's what I use anyway, and I love it. One thing we do too for natural flea and tick prevention is I use a product called Cedar Side. I believe there's another one called Wonder Side. It's all natural, and yes, you do have to apply it much more often. Usually here, we apply it once a day to our dogs. You spray it on and rub it into their coat, but it's all natural, and it does repel the fleas and the ticks, especially fleas aren't so much of an issue here for us as ticks. We live in a wooded area. I've got a little bit of a property, and we do have a lot of ticks here, and the dogs will get ticks if we don't use that Cedar Side. I just choose not to use the harsh chemicals. The flea and tick medicine, it's pesticide, so it's killing the pests that get onto our pets, but it's also can cause a lot of harm to our animals. So again, not telling you what to do, just encourage you to do some research and make some informed decisions. And I guess most of all, just be aware that there are natural options out there for us, for pretty much everything for our animals. One of my very, very favorite resources, hi everybody, hey Joe, Renee, is for anything and everything related to holistic animal care. Is written by a homeopathic veterinarian named Dr. Falconer in Austin, Texas. The name of his site is vitalanimal.com, and I will put this in the comments as well, but it's vital, V-I-T-A-L, animal.com, again, written by a homeopathic veterinarian. This is where I really started to get my education on the dangers of vaccines, especially, and is a whole nother topic. But Dr. Falconer has pages and pages of resources and information, free resources, classes that he teaches on just that subject. And I just encourage you to visit his site, educate yourself, and make your own informed decisions about how you feel about vaccines. I know how I feel. I know what I do for my own animals. But again, that's a very personal decision. We lost one of our dogs. Her name was Libby, because of vaccines. And so it's a very near and dear, pretty passionate subject for me. You can read about her story on my website. But again, it's vitalanimal.com. He also has a natural heartworm protocol that you can follow. So wealth of information. Real quick, I'm going to talk a little bit about cancer because I have another really great resource for you. 1 in 2 dogs and approximately 1 in 3 cats will die of cancer. This is an epidemic in the United States here, at least. When we were, our parents, our grandparents had animals, they mostly would feed them scraps. We're talking a long time ago, but the prevalence of cancer was not there. A big reason that our animals are getting cancer at such a high alarming rate is food, and then also all of the toxicity that they are exposed to. There is a fantastic 7-part, I believe, free resource coming up, and I want to give this to you. So the website is thetruthaboutpetcancer.com. Again, thetruthaboutpetcancer.com. It's a 7-part series that starts on April 4th. If you go to that website, you can sign up totally free, and it is being led by some of the best holistic minds here in the United States, I believe also in Canada. So really encourage you. Again, it's a great resource. Educate yourself. Find out more about this, and then you will feel more empowered to make the right decisions. Next, I've got a few minutes to talk about 3 of my favorite holistic modalities. The first is homeopathy. Also, I teach courses on all of this information, and I'm going to be teaching classes coming up this summer on probably each one of these modalities. So, just a very brief overview. We're talking a couple of minutes. It's hard to get a lot of information here. Homeopathy has been around for hundreds of years. It's used exclusively by the Queen of England, and it goes with the premise of like cures like. Again, we're actually treating a disease and an illness. We're not masking those symptoms. Homeopathy is generally comes in little white pellets, comes in bottles like this, or sometimes very small vials. Also, I will recommend this book for you. It's called Homeopathic Care for Cats and Dogs, and it's written by a veterinarian. His name is Don Hamilton. This is a huge book. It's phenomenal. I use it as a resource all the time. Would really encourage you to, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about homeopathy, learning it for your pets, go ahead and just get that book. It's a great starter tool. We use homeopathy for our animal friends here on an almost daily basis. I use homeopathy for myself for about 30 years. I can't imagine, frankly, life without homeopathy. It's amazing. You can use homeopathy for acute instances with your animals. Say they've gotten an insect bee sting. It will take that sting right out. A great one to have in your toolbox is a homeopathic remedy called arnica. That is great for any acute injuries for your animal. Say they've gotten into the garbage and they're vomiting, having some diarrhea. There are a couple of great remedies for that. We use one called Russ Talks on a daily basis to support a couple of our older kids with some arthritic issues. Again, so much can be done with homeopathy. You'll learn some more about it too on Dr. Falconer's site. Again, I'll be teaching a kind of an overview course to help get you started on that this summer too. But homeopathy is something that you do want some education on. You don't really want to just sort of dabble in homeopathy. One of my very favorite modalities is flower essences. Definitely going to be teaching a course on this coming up this summer. Flower essences work in such a gentle way for us and for our animal family. It works with our electrical system, our energetic system within our body. One of the beautiful things about flower essences is they can cause no harm. There comes in a liquid. You just need 1 drop at a time. You can put it right in your animal's mouth on their mucous membranes. You put it in their water. They come in little bottles like this, and very supportive for emotions, can also be supportive for physical issues as well. Flower essences are literally created from flowers. They are put out in the sun, in water, and then whatever company you're working with, and they have a stabilizing process that they work with. But I adore flower essences and highly recommend them all the time. Been using them again for about 30 years. Got started with Bach flower remedies. Now my very, very favorite company to work with is called Green Hope Farm, and there are multiple flower essences companies out there. That's one that I particularly love. I'll be doing some more live streams about flower essences, homeopathy, and essential oils too, so we can go a little bit more in depth, and then we can go really in depth in probably about a 90-minute course. Briefly, essential oils, I've been using those for about 4 years. This is something that I feel does take some education. So I would definitely not recommend just going out to your natural food store, Walmart, pretty much anywhere you go now, you see essential oils. That is something that does, again, take education, and we want to be very, very careful and cautious of the brands that we use. A lot of the essential oils out there are adulterated, which means they are not pure, and they can cause harm to your animal family. I use a brand called Young Living. Again, I've been using that for about 4 years. I teach specific courses on how to safely use essential oils with your animals. There are some other companies out there that are good as well, but we want to be very careful and cautious when we're using essential oils, but the benefits are phenomenal. Especially for physical issues, emotional issues. I use essential oils here just about daily with our own animal family. We've got one of our border collies is very scared of thunderstorms. We use essential oils with him fantastically, very successful to help calm that anxiety. I use essential oils again for our couple of our guys with arthritis. So the benefits are endless, and the ways that we can use essential oils for our animal friends, multiple ways. Again, it's something that takes a little bit of an education, but I highly recommend using essential oils. It's a great, safe, when done properly, way to help our pets. So again, just wrapping up, I encourage you to educate yourself. Think outside the box. We don't always have to just go with what's tried and true and maybe what we're familiar with. And again, I'll be teaching some classes coming up so that we can go a little bit deeper into this information. I will post the websites that I was talking about earlier so that you can have that as a reference if you didn't get a chance to write that down. And also, animal communication is my huge passion and my love, and it's the foundation for all of my work. What I do with my holistic consultations for people is I do suggest, if possible, we get started with an animal communication session, because we're going to be able to learn so much from that particular animal about what they're needing and wanting, and then we dive a little bit deeper into the holistic options that might be able to help them. I would encourage you, if you have not already, to visit my website, animalsoulconnection.com. You can sign up there for 2 free gifts that I have for you. One is a guided meditation that you can do with your animal friends, and the other is a guide that I've written on helping you to deepen the connection with your animal family. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. And if you have questions, afterwards, go ahead and just post them here, and I'll reply to any questions or concerns that you have so that I can help you out. All right? Thanks, everybody. Bye.